Hey guys, what's up, Redactions here, and welcome to this brand new video. Today we're taking a look at the career path of F1 drivers. I came up with this video idea after watching F3 last weekend, when I saw a few drivers in F3 who I raced against in karting not that long ago. Also, two close friends of mine are in F4, which made me want to include F4 in this video as well, since it's the primary stepping stone in the motorsport ladder when we talk about open wheel racing. So in this video we will start in karting, in the same class as I competed in during my last 3 years in the sport. After that we will look at the usual categories an F1 driver goes through. Before we start guys, we are getting closer and closer to hitting that 5,000 subscriber mark. I would like to take this opportunity to announce that I will be doing a Q&A once we reach that number. And I will make a dedicated community post for you guys to submit questions. Anyway guys, if you want me to do this Q&A, please consider subscribing to the channel. Every one of you who subscribes is one step closer. And also, to everyone who's subscribed already, a massive thank you. Oh, and also guys, before I forget, next week Monday I will be going to Poland to be a mechanic and driver coach for a karting driver. So that means I will have a small break from YouTube. Expect however to see pre-recorded videos, but there will be no commentary next week. With that out of the way guys, let's start with this video. Okay guys, welcome to Kart Racing Pro. As a car driver, I can say that this is the most realistic karting simulator that you can currently buy. It's better than Kartcraft, better than rFactor's Kart Sim. This is just the best, go get it if you want it. The kart you're looking at right now is a Rotax Max Evo, which is the class I used to race in when I still was in karting. It is a spec series, except for one thing, and that is that you can choose the chassis yourself. So everything is exactly the same apart from the chassis. So everyone, according to the manufacturer of the engines, everyone should have equal engines. Well, that was just a load of BS. Well, again, according to the factory, this thing has around 32 horsepower, but yeah, in practice it's more like 35, 36, with a weight of 85 kilograms excluding the driver. The version you're seeing right now is the 2015 kart, so it's a little bit slower than the modern karts we have, around about 1 or 1.5 seconds. That's mostly down to the softer tires we have nowadays, but also because the engines just got way better. So let's get to the track, shall we? Okay guys, so here we are. We're in the pits of Karting Genk in Belgium, which is famous for being the track that Max Verstappen started his karting career at. Actually, I think like 90% of most current F1 drivers have at one point raced here at Karting Genk. So let's start our engine and let's get on the way. So this kart is not a shifter kart, it's just one gear, which is nice. It's pretty quick, but I'll take you through a slow lap now of the Genk circuit. This is actually really well done, it really looks like the circuit in real life. Apart from some light inconsistencies with the curbs, like these things were a bit smaller in real life. Especially these ones on the left right here. This one's pretty accurate. You can go over the first ones, but you have to avoid the second ones. Then going into this corner, this is flat, you take actually quite a lot of curb there. Then onto this corner, you don't want to touch the curb there in real life. Then onto the Europalaan straight. On the left hand side there's actually a highway, so if you get up to the top speeds here you actually go past some real life cars. Then we take this curb, then we take this curb, then immediately into a long right hander with a double apex. In real life it's a bit banked this corner, but it's not over here, but that's okay. Into another hairpin. This is right ahead of you, you see the canteen building, so on the grandstand right there all the spectators will be watching you, or watching all the people slide off in the racer last few, like a week ago, I don't know when it was. Okay, let's get ready to do our lap now. To the final corner, hit the apex and flat again. So guys, this really feels like a kart. This is so goddamn accurate. Brake for turn 1, onto the gas. Lift off, and hard on again. Anyway guys, if you don't know, what makes these things so tricky to drive is that they don't have a differential. So brake for the hairpin, onto the Europalaan. These things do not have a differential, they have a solid rear axle, which means that the rear wheels cannot turn independently from one another. So when you go through a corner, the inside rear wheel actually lifts off the ground. The hairpin, and then when you go on the gas again you see the rear wheel land. I'll put a slow-mo of that on the screen. This corner is flat in real life, but not on this thing. Okay, let's do our proper hot lap now. This was just a warm-up lap. We'll be
aiming to do around the 55 something. Let's duck behind the steering wheel. We did a 56.1, 56.4, excuse me. Into turn 1, hit this apex, flat again. That was really satisfying. That was about what you want to do in real life. Let's take this curb, brake, let it roll into the corner, lift the rear wheel back on the power. So when you go back on the power, the inside wheel lands and you get massive traction. We lose the back end a bit, but that's okay. Having a solid rear axle also means that you do not want to let the kart slide, because you will just lose massive amounts of speed. But we're up almost half a second. We went a little bit wide, but that's okay. Brake, hit this apex. Still half a second up. This is one brilliant overtaking spot in real life. You can just dive down the inside here. And hard on again. Full throttle. Hit the apex. To the line, duck behind the steering wheel. And it's a 55.8, which is pretty good considering that this is a 2015 kart. I think that, yeah, that's up there in terms of pace. When I had an international race here in 2019, the pole lap was a 53.8. But yeah, keep in mind that those karts were a little bit faster as well. And well, I didn't get the pole in real life, so I'm also quite a bit off myself. I think I did like a 54, 5, 4 or 3 maybe. So I was quite a way off, but yeah. If you want to have a realistic karting simulator, go get Kart Racing Pro, man. It's so good. Now it's time to move on to the kart's big brother, which is Formula 4. Alright then, the next step in the motorsport ladder is this mighty beast, which is the RSS Formula 4, which is based on the current generation of Formula 4 cars. This thing has around 160 horsepower coming from a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and it weighs about 620 kilograms including the driver. And we actually have downforce this time, yay, that's amazing. Wow. So yeah, if my daddy would be Daddy Stroll, this is probably what I'll be driving right now, or maybe even Formula 3. But yeah, this is where most drivers who want to get into Formula car racing go after they've won a championship in karting or did a few years of karting. I actually have a few friends, one of them is a close friend of mine, the other one I just know, that are in Formula 4, in the Spanish Formula 4 Championship. So Guillermo or Emily, if you're watching this, hi guys. So yeah, we're in Imola right now. This is where I'll be doing all the tests in the Formula cars from now on. We're going to stay at Imola for all the other races, so let's go. So yeah, this thing actually sounds quite nice in my opinion. Doesn't have that much straight line speed, but it's okay. Probably still insane to drive this thing in real life though, because it's so light and it actually has quite a bit of downforce and these chunky slick tires. It actually feels kind of similar to a kart. I see why people move into this category after they graduate from karting. I don't know if you should call it graduating, but I'll only be doing one lap in this, guys, because, well, it will probably take around 1 minute and 40 seconds. It's actually slower than GT3 cars, this thing. Ooh, as the back end is really nervous there on the braking. So, hot lap time. And up into 6th gear. Front tires are also getting a bit cold, as you can see there. And brake a little bit later than we just did. Back to 3rd gear, ref limiter. Turn in, hit this apex, don't hit it too much because you'll spin. To 4th gear, and you can see there in the virtual mirror, you see flames when I shift up, look. Ah, you didn't see one there, I jinxed it. Maybe just pay attention to it, you'll see some more. Let's not mess it up again this time, leaving in 4th gear, back into 3rd. Team boss will probably kill me if I do that in real life, but that's okay, we're in the sim. Back down to 2nd. Late apex and full throttle again. So yeah, it's actually quite satisfying to drive this thing. It's difficult, but when you get it right, it feels really good. Up into, I don't know what this corner is called. I should know that, but I don't. We missed the apex slightly, but we don't run wide, that's okay. Is it called Rivazza? No, I think that's the last corner. I know this one, this is Acqua Minerale. Lift off a little bit. Switch down to 2nd gear. And hard on the throttle again. Now coming up to Variante Alta, as the Italians call it. I'm sorry if I butchered that, by the way. Please let me know if you're Italian, if I pronounced that correctly. Go down 2 gears. Hit this apex, and full throttle again. So yeah, as you could see on the right hand side right there, at the exit of Variante Alta, they didn't. This version of Imola still uses the AstroTurf, so no runoff. Okay, this one's called Rivazza, I think. Rivazza 1, Rivazza 2, leave it in 3rd gear. Ooh, don't lose it on the final corner. Almost lost it there. Probably should like install a wheel cam or something, because you don't know what I'm doing with the steering wheel right now. Maybe something for the future. 5th gear. And we do a 52.99, so it's actually way slower than the GT3 car, because I think my best time in the GT3 car around here is like a 41 something. But yeah, that was with no lifing and doing a lot of setup work. I just took the stock setup, did 2 laps because I spun on the first one, and that's the best time I could do. So probably if I do a lot of laps on this, I could probably go like another 2 or 3 seconds faster. But yeah, that's what you'll have to do with it for right now. Let's move on to this car's bigger brother, the Formula 3 car. Okay guys, now we are getting serious in terms of speed. This is the Formula RSS 3, which is based on the current gen of Formula 3 cars. Even though it's only 70 kilograms heavier than the F4 car, it has more than double the amount of horsepower, which is around 380 if I'm correct. Well, as you can see, it has a bit more chunkier wings, it has bigger tires which gave us more grip, and we actually have DRS this time. I like DRS. And also, this is the first time we see a halo on the car. And again, for this step in the motorsport ladder, there are some drivers that are now in FIA Formula 3 that I have actually raced against. One of them became champion in the first year that I entered the junior category. And for the other driver, I actually remember racing him in one of my first races. I believe that was his first race in class, that was about my 3rd race. It was a wet race and we actually had quite a nice battle. I don't know if that video is still up on my YouTube channel, but if it is, I'll leave the link up in the top right corner. It was so weird to see them in F3. I was like, damn, I have raced these guys a couple of years ago, now they're in Formula 3. Wow. Well, let's just go onto the track before I get sad. Now this thing has a naturally aspirated V6 engine. I think it has like a 3-liter engine or something. Open the DRS, we can already do that coming out of the pits. We're still stuck with only 6 gears, but that's okay. I actually quite like the way this thing starts, just listen to that. Already in terms of downforce, I can already feel quite a lot more downforce. So final corner. Get a good exit. We had a little bit of a backhand slide, but that's okay. Open the DRS and fly towards turn 1 now. 5th gear, I think we'll reach about 280 kph, if not more. Well, it has 380 horsepower, but still it launches up almost up to 290 kilometers per hour. Brake way too early. It's better to brake too early than too late. That's what Jos Verstappen once said to Max. To the first couple corners, up to 5th gear. 6th gear, no, we're not going to get 6th gear before Villeneuve. And brake. Brakes are massively overheating, but that's okay. Yeah, as you can see them as I brake right now, that all the numbers were in red. And up through the gears again. So yeah, in terms of straight line speed, it's actually not extremely quick, but in the corners it just feels so good, man. And by the way guys, this car is completely free to download on the RSS site, so again, if you're looking for a fun little car, go get this one. It's free and it just takes like 2 seconds to download, so why not do it guys. 4th gear, 5th gear, brake around here. You have to brake earlier because now of course we're having a lot more straight line speed compared to the Formula 4 car. And back on the throttle. As you can see that in the rearview mirror, the double flames, because we actually have a double exhaust. And brake. Use the downforce to turn it in, it sticks. Yeah, this thing just feels so nice to drive in the corners. And full throttle again. Open the DRS. Let's see what kind of time we did. I think we did like a 52 something in the Formula 4 car, but in the F3 car it is a 35.8, which is around about 17 seconds faster I think than the Formula 4 car. So that's actually quite a big step. I'm guessing that from this to the Formula 2 car it's actually also going to be like a 10-15 second gap. Whew. Really fun car to drive, but it is on edge, so you have to be careful when pushing. Let's move on to the Formula 2 car. So guys, we are now in the class where Lord Mahavira Gunnathan blessed us with his presence a few years back. Yes guys, I'm talking about Formula 2. This is the last step before Formula 1 and these cars are made to separate the great drivers from the good. This has been achieved by making the cars quite tricky to drive. And that's partly done because this car in particular has a 620 horsepower engine coming from a turbo V6 and it weighs a hefty 750 kilograms. This again is a spec series like all the other series before this, which basically means that all the teams have the same car, well, the same base car, but of course you can set them up differently, and that's where the tiny differences in car performance come from. And again guys, as you can see on the sideboard there, this is another car by Race Sim Studio. So let's see what this thing drives like. Okay, it already has a bit more torque going onto the gas. That's probably because of the turbo lag. Shifting down to second gear. You do feel like there's more grip. I probably just jinxed that. Okay, as I was saying, it feels like it has more grip, but as I also said in the little intro, it is quite tricky. So yeah, if you ask me, this thing actually kind of feels similar to a Formula 1 car, only a bit more sluggish in the corners and not quite as powerful. But in terms of brakes, it already feels more like a Formula... Ooh, that was a little snap. In terms of brakes, it does feel pretty similar to a Formula 1 car. Second gear and full throttle. Already getting up to fourth gear before we even open the DRS. Let's see what kind of top speed we can get now. Probably a little bit close to 300 because our exit was way better than last time. 290. 296, same top speed again. Back down to third gear, hit this apex, don't touch the curb too much, and full throttle. A little bit of a screen freeze, but doesn't do us too much harm. Up into fifth gear before Villeneuve, switch down one gear for the left-hander and then one for the right-hander, hit both apexes and hold on again. Yeah, you really have to hit both of these curbs, otherwise you're dead. The curb kind of helps you make the corner. And full throttle again. Third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, the 690 horsepower really helping us here, or 80, I don't remember. Into this corner, can really throw it in because of the massive downforce. We absolutely destroyed that curb, but that's okay. Into Aqua Minerale, one gear. Back to second, on again, don't spin again. Third gear, fourth gear, and brake at around 70 meters. Hit this curb, hit that curb, and hold on again. Don't touch the AstroTurf on the exit there. That corner used to be way quicker back in the day. I think the curbs were lower, so you could just absolutely destroy them. Back now to second, hit this apex. Short run towards the final corner, hit this apex. Now we're taking in third gear compared to second gear last time. Open the DRS, take the shortest run towards the line. Let the DRS and the engine do its work to get up to big speed, and we do a 130.3. So, compared to the F3 car, this car is not actually that much quicker. Which is something I did not expect. I thought this car would be way quicker than the F3 car. Well, anyway. We of course have one more step in the motorsport ladder to go, which is Big Daddy F1. Let's see what that can do around this track. It's time for the Big Daddy of motorsport, guys, the F1 car. It probably doesn't need that much of an introduction, but I'll still give you some quick specs anyway. This bad boy produces around 1000 bhp coming from a turbo hybrid V6 engine. It has massive wings, it has massive slick tires. It's basically just all destroying. We put on the nice Aston Martin skin for this one, to change it up a little from all the stock RSS skins. So yeah, let's see what we can do in this thing. Already just driving in the pits, it already feels a lot more eager to get going, if you know what I mean. It just wants to go forward and it just doesn't stop accelerating until you have hit the top speed, which is around 310 or 20 kilometers an hour with our current setup. Okay, let's put the engine down to charging for now and turn it up into hot lap when it's ready to do our hot lap. Okay guys, as we are approaching the last two corners, it's time to put the engine up into the quickest mode possible, which is hot lap. The MGU-K is in hot lap. Let's put the MGU-H in motor and let's turn down the recovery to 50%. And let's start our hot lap now. Fourth gear, fifth gear, sixth gear, seventh gear, and that's 8th gear. I think we'll do around 320, maybe 330 if we're lucky. 324 it is. Breakdown, we just eat all of the gears. Back down to 3rd, up to 4th, back to 5th, 6th. Yeah, this thing just absolutely demolishes its gears. As we demolish the Villeneuve chicane. Already up into 6th gear before this happened. Back down to 2nd, short shift to 3rd. Oh, it's just this thing is just too fast to speak. I don't really have that much time between the corners to talk. Same issue as I had in the karts. I come in a rally, first part is flat and brake down for the second, back down to third gear and accelerate out of it, fourth gear, fifth gear. It's just so easy to maintain such a high cornering speed with this thing, man. Brake again at 70 meters, eat this curb, eat the next curb, and be careful on the throttle because I touched the assetto and again, hard on it again. 6th gear, 7th gear, probably reaching well over 300 before this corner. And back down 5 gears to 3rd gear. Up 1 gear, short shift, keep it in 4th for this corner, and flat. Open the DRS, take the shortest line towards the line. Shortest line towards the line? Shortest run towards the line. And it's a 1:19.3. So this thing is about 11 seconds faster than the Formula 2 car. And just an absolute joy to drive. Again, man, these mods by RSS, insane, you should really check them out. Yeah, they do cost a bit of money, but it's absolutely worth every single penny. Or cent in my case, because I'm European. Okay, let's see what post-editing me has to say.
Okay guys, that was it for this video. I hope you liked it. Please hit that like button if you did. And also, if you would like to see more kart racing pro content on this channel, let me know. Maybe I'll do something like an in-depth track guide like Nico Rosberg does with his Formula 1 tracks, but I can do it with the karting track. I'm going to edit the last pieces of this video now, so I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Peace!